Hi, I'm Melina. I never thought my life would turn into some kind of soap opera, but here we are. 6 months ago, I was just a regular 30-year-old woman, married to my college sweetheart Daniel, and finally expecting our first child after 3 years of trying. We were over the moon when we found out it was going to be a girl. A daughter, Mel. Can you believe it? Daniel spun me around our kitchen that day, his eyes filled with tears. After everything we've been through, I know. She's our miracle. I placed his hand on my still flat stomach. She's going to be perfect. Daniel's family had always been a bit much. His parents were sweet, but overwhelmed by their only daughter, Vanessa. She needed to be the center of attention, but I'd managed to keep things cordial over our 5 years of marriage. You're so patient with her, my best friend Jasmine told me over coffee when I was about 4 months along. If my sister-in-law commented on my weight gain the way Vanessa did, I'd have lost it. I stirred my decaf. She's just Vanessa. Daniel talks to her when she crosses the line. Does he, though? Jasmine raised an eyebrow. Because at the barbecue, she was telling everyone you shouldn't be eating hot dogs in your condition like you're some kind of incubator. Daniel says she's just excited about being an aunt. She's always been controlling. Jasmine leaned forward. Excited? Mel, she cornered me in the kitchen asking if you were absolutely certain you wanted kids. Said something about family history making it irresponsible. What family history? She wouldn't say. Just kept hinting there were issues that made having children selfish. I felt a chill. Daniel's never mentioned health problems. We did genetic counseling. I think it's not about health risks. Ashley told me Vanessa's been saying you tricked Daniel into having a baby to trap him, that you knew about some agreement with their family money. That's ridiculous. We've never asked his parents for anything. The conversation left me unsettled, but nothing prepared me for what happened at my 20-week anatomy scan the following day. Daniel had an emergency at work. I was lying on the table when the door burst open. Stop this right now! Vanessa's voice rang through the exam room. Behind her, a nurse tried pulling her back. Ma'am, you cannot be in here. Tell her, Melina. Tell her you're going to terminate. Vanessa's face contorted with rage. A girl will ruin everything. The technician froze. Should I call security? She asked quietly. Vanessa, what are you talking about? How did you even know I was here? Daniel told Mom, I've been trying to talk sense into you for months. She pushed past the nurse. Do you know what this means for the inheritance? Ma'am, leave now, the nurse said firmly, stepping between us. You don't understand. This family has traditions. The firstborn needs to be a boy to inherit. She's ruining generations of planning, Vanessa screamed, her voice echoing down the hallway. Get her out, I whispered, tears streaming down my face, hand protectively covering my belly. As security arrived, Vanessa's parting words cut through me. Daniel will never forgive you for this. Ask him about the agreement. I can't believe she did that. Daniel paced our living room that night. Mel, I'm so sorry. Sorry isn't enough. What agreement was she talking about? What's this about inheritance and having a boy? He stopped, face pale. Just some old-fashioned nonsense my grandfather used to talk about. Vanessa took it too seriously. Don't lie to me. I stood, hands trembling. The nurse said she screamed about terminating the pregnancy. Your sister demanded I abort our daughter. It's not what you think. Then what is it? I snapped. Am I some broodmare to produce a male heir? His silence told me everything. Daniel, did you know about this? Have you been hoping for a boy because of inheritance? It's complicated, he finally said, eyes averted. My grandfather's will has this clause. The family estate goes to the first male grandchild. Otherwise, it goes to charity. And you never mentioned this during fertility treatments? I didn't think it mattered. I love you, Mel. Get out. I pointed to the door. I need to think. After he left, I called my brother, Marcus. This is some medieval bullshit, Marcus said after I explained. Have you talked to his parents directly? Maybe Vanessa's twisting things. The next day, I drove to my in-laws' house. Elaine answered, looking surprised. Melina, is everything all right with the baby? No thanks to your daughter, I said, stepping inside. Can we talk? Daniel called about the hospital incident. We're mortified. Vanessa has always been high-strung. High-strung? I echoed. She demanded I abort my baby because it's a girl. That's monstrous. Robert, my father-in-law, entered from his study. Melina, we were going to call you. Is it true about the inheritance? The male heir clause? They exchanged glances. Robert cleared his throat. An unfortunate tradition. My father was traditional, but we never expected Daniel or Vanessa to take it so seriously. $15 million isn't serious? I asked quietly. Elaine gasped. How did you— I talked to your family lawyer. He was forthcoming when I mentioned potential legal action. Melina, you have to understand, Robert began. I understand your daughter tried to coerce me into terminating my pregnancy for money. I'm wondering how much you and Daniel knew. They all knew. I turned to see Catherine, Robert's sister. I'd always liked her. Catherine, this isn't your concern, Robert said sharply. Melina deserves the truth. Yes, they knew. And yes, there have been discussions. What discussions? I asked, stomach twisting. Vanessa has been planning to use that money for her business ventures, Catherine explained. When you got pregnant, there were family meetings. Family meetings about my pregnancy I wasn't invited to? I refused to attend. It's barbaric. But yes, they discussed the problem of your pregnancy and what would happen if you had a girl. And Daniel was there? My voice broke. He attended one, Catherine confirmed, ignoring Robert and Elaine's protests. He left angry, told them all to stay out of it. But Melina, he knew. 3 days later, Vanessa showed up at our house. I'd been staying with Jasmine, but returned for clothes. Daniel was at his parents'. I figured you'd come back, Vanessa said, rising from our porch swing. You have 30 seconds to get off my property, I replied, unlocking the door. Melina, wait. She followed me inside. I know you're upset. Upset? You tried to force me to abort my baby for money. I shouldn't have approached it that way, she admitted. But you have to understand what's at stake. $15 million. It's not just money. It's our family legacy. That estate has been in our family for generations. Get out, Vanessa. Daniel doesn't want this baby, you know, she said coldly. Not if it's a girl. He's been talking about it for months. I froze. You're lying. Why do you think he missed that ultrasound? He knew I was coming. He wanted me to talk sense into you. That's not true. But my voice wavered. He told us you were being stubborn about genetic testing, that you refused to consider selective methods. You mean gender selection? That's illegal here? There are ways around that. Clinics in other countries. Daniel researched it. I don't believe you. Check his browser history. Look at his emails. He's been contacting a clinic in Singapore. The front door opened. Daniel stood there looking between us. What are you doing here, Vanessa? He asked tiredly. Telling your wife the truth. Something you should have done. Get out, he told his sister. Now. Fine, she smirked. But this isn't over. That money belongs to our family, not some charity, and certainly not to your daughter. After she left, Daniel turned to me. Mel, whatever she said, is it true? I held up my phone, showing emails I'd found while at Jasmine's. Were you researching gender selection? His face crumbled. I was just looking at options. Options? I laughed bitterly. For getting rid of our daughter? Replacing her with a son for your millions? It wasn't like that. I was curious. These emails are dated before we even started fertility treatments. You've been planning this. Melina, please. He reached for me. Don't touch me. I trusted you with everything, and you were hoping for a specific outcome to please your family? To get rich? I love you, he insisted, and I'll love our daughter. I don't care about the money. Then why research those clinics? Why hide the inheritance clause? Why let your sister interfere with my pregnancy? I want a divorce, I said quietly. No. His face hardened. You're not taking my child. if you think I'll let you leave with my baby. Your baby? Suddenly she's your baby? Not the disappointment that cost you millions? You're being hysterical, he snapped. This is exactly why I didn't tell you. I knew you'd overreact. We hadn't noticed Jasmine and Marcus entering. They'd come to check on me. Overreact? I shouted. Your sister demanded I abort our child. She shouldn't have done that, Daniel conceded. But she was right. You are ruining this family's future out of stubbornness. The room went silent. Daniel realized what he'd said, horror dawning. I didn't mean... Yes, you did. I was eerily calm. You said what you really think. Mel, please, I'm sorry. Get away from my sister. Marcus stepped between us. This is between me and my wife, Daniel snapped. Not anymore, Jasmine said, her phone held up. I've been recording. You just admitted to agreeing with your sister's attempt to coerce a medical procedure. You can't record me without consent! Daniel lunged for the phone. What happened next occurred so fast. Daniel grabbed Jasmine's arm, Marcus intervened, and Daniel shoved him hard against the wall. Touch my brother again, I said coldly, and see what happens. The restraining order has been granted, my lawyer Teresa informed me 6 weeks later. Daniel cannot come within 500 feet of you, your residence, or workplace. Given the evidence of emotional abuse and the physical altercation, the judge was sympathetic. What about the divorce? I asked, rubbing my prominent belly. We're moving forward. The recording, plus the witness statements from hospital staff regarding Vanessa's behavior, are compelling. The judge is concerned about potential coercion regarding reproductive decisions. Marcus squeezed my hand. Will this affect custody? Teresa nodded. Daniel will likely get supervised visitation at best, initially. His behavior suggests he may not have the child's best interests at heart. 2 days later, Catherine visited my new apartment. I brought something for you, she said, handing me a thick folder. Evidence. Family emails, meeting minutes, recordings. I've been documenting their obsession with this inheritance for years. Why help me? I asked. Because what they did was wrong, and because I've been fighting this toxic tradition my whole life. She smiled sadly. I had 3 daughters. My brother never let me forget how I failed the family. With Catherine's evidence, the divorce proceeded quickly. 4 months later, I was legally single again, with full custody of my unborn daughter. Daniel was granted supervised visitation after the birth, contingent on completing therapy. The most surprising turn came from Robert and Elaine. They appeared at my door one rainy afternoon. We've come to apologize, Robert said formally. What Vanessa did, what we all did, was unforgivable. We've been blind, Elaine added, eyes red-rimmed. Family tradition was never worth hurting you or our grandchild. I appreciate that, I said carefully. But I'm not ready to forgive. We understand. Robert handed me an envelope. A trust fund for your daughter. Not from the family estate. Our personal savings, no strings. I accepted it cautiously. This doesn't change the past. Of course not, Elaine wiped a tear. We just want to be part of her life. Unlike Vanessa and Daniel, we've realized what truly matters. Speaking of Vanessa, her final confrontation came at the hospital after my daughter Olivia was born. She appeared while Jasmine was taking photos. So this is her, Vanessa said from the doorway. The $15 million baby? Get out. Jasmine stood protectively. I just want to apologize. I'm not interested, I said, cradling Olivia closer. Look, I was wrong. I've lost everything. Daniel barely speaks to me. My parents have disowned me. My reputation is ruined. Can't we move past this? Move past? I laughed incredulously. You tried to force me to abort my child. You harassed me at a medical appointment. You conspired to prioritize money over my daughter's life. I know. And I'm sorry. I don't care if you're sorry. Your apology means nothing. I looked directly into her eyes. You showed me exactly who you are, and I believe you. Now leave. Melina, please. Nurse, I called to the woman nearby. This is the woman with a restraining order. The one who screamed at staff during my ultrasound. The nurse recognized her immediately. Security will escort you out. As Vanessa was led away, her face twisted in anger. This isn't over? That money should have been ours. 2 weeks later, I sat in Catherine's garden, watching as she cooed over Olivia. You know, Catherine mused, my father would be rolling in his grave right now. Why's that? His precious male heir clause had a loophole nobody noticed until I had my lawyer review it last month. It specifies the first male grandchild born to his son's children, but never explicitly excluded female heirs if no male was born. I stared at her. What are you saying? If no male grandchild is born, the estate passes to the firstborn grandchild of any gender after they turn 25. She smiled at Olivia, meaning this little one is now heir to everything. Does Vanessa know? Not yet. The lawyer is informing the family today. I wanted to tell you first. I looked at my daughter, peacefully sleeping in her great-aunt's arms. I don't want her anywhere near that toxic legacy. Then change it, Catherine suggested. You'll have 25 years to show her inheritance isn't about gender or outdated traditions. It's about responsibility and kindness. She paused. Besides, imagine Vanessa's face when she realizes all her scheming backfired completely. For the first time in months, I laughed genuinely. That almost makes it worth considering. Marcus joined us. How's my favorite niece? Perfect, I answered honestly, and surprisingly wealthy. Good, he nodded. She deserves it. And what about you, sis? How are you feeling about everything? I watched butterflies dance over Catherine's roses. Stronger, wiser, ready to give Olivia the life she deserves. One where she knows her value has nothing to do with gender or family expectations. That's my sister. He bumped my shoulder gently. The lesson is simple, I replied. Never mess with a mother protecting her child. The price of interference can be very, very high. Have you ever stood up to family members who tried to control your life choices? I'd love to hear your stories in the comments. And if you enjoyed this revenge tale, please consider liking and subscribing for more.